Hey guys, it's Dort again. I'm here in the Ratinger Hof in Düsseldorf, behind the Ratinger Hof in Düsseldorf. Besides me are two members of the band MAD CADDIES. Hi, first of all.
Hello guys.
Hi. MAD CADDIES, you are around for a long time, we can talk about this. First of all, maybe even some people kick in who don't know you yet. Can you say your names and your part in the band?
Yeah, I'm Chuck. I'm the singer, rhythm guitar player, and I founded the band in my parents' barn in 1995 in California. Yeah.
Jon Gazi, bass, vocals, and
Been with the organization for almost 20 years now. Yeah. Yeah.
So, 1995, that's a long time, more than 30 years now.
Yeah.
We can talk about the whole story, we will talk a little bit about this, but maybe for people who kick in just because they saw a cool name or might be interesting, how would you describe MAD CADDIES for someone who you meet at a bar?
I'm trying to shorten it because it used to have so many things, but now I just say like we're an eclectic rock band that plays some ska, reggae, jazz, and punk, you know, and we have a horn section. Yeah.
I'll tell people party band,
Yeah.
or rock band with horns, you know, trumpet and trombone, and
Good time
all
dance
good
party
times,
band.
smiles.
Yeah.
Cool. And
You try to get into whole like ska, punk, and they just go, huh, what, huh?
And we're not just ska punk. I mean, maybe even our first two
Right.
records weren't just ska punk.
True.
They were all these other styles. So we've always been a very eclectic band. Yeah.
you have these elements, but not totally into one.
Yeah.
Direction.
We never got accepted in the ska scene. We never got accepted fully in the punk scene. We were always just somewhere in the ether, floating in the middle, you know. So.
Great. And you're on tour now with the Happies, we'll talk about this, but let's do it chronologically. As I mentioned, 30 years, it's a long time. We can't tell the whole story now, but I always like to ask for maybe 2 or 3 really important turning points from the beginning to now.
Well, yeah, the band started, you know, we're still in high school. I was still, yeah, I think, was Sasha in high school? Yeah, anyway, we were mostly all still in high school, 1995, and we formed this band, and I'd already been in a couple other bands, but it was like grunge and, you know, trying to be like Pearl Jam or Nirvana. We were like, yeah, we're hard rock, you know, and we're wearing, 14 years old, wearing our flannel shirts and Doc Marten boots, and then we discovered, you know, NoFX and Pennywise and Sublime, and then the whole 60s and 70s Jamaican ska scene. My dad, when I'm 16, he bought me the whole Trojan box set from like all the traditional ska, and I just fell in love with it. And going to see shows when you're 16 in Santa Barbara and national bands like NoFX and Skink and Pickle and even like Selector, like these famous British ska bands, and the Specials are coming through, and we were just so lucky to get to see all those shows, and they were all ages, and it's kind of scary to go to a punk show. If you go see Pennywise, there's always some dude bros, and you might get a freaking elbow to the nose. You're like, ah! But you go to the ska show, and it's like half girls, and you're like, I like this better. So that's how we started out. We started going to shows, and then I'm watching these bands. I go, well, we can do this. We can get a van and tour the States, and yeah, we just got lucky. We recorded our second demo, Quality Softcore, which turned out to be our first record, and Joey Cape from Lagwagon was recording at the same studio in Santa Barbara, and sent it up to Fat Mike, and 3 days later we were signed to Fat Records. Like Fat Mike calls Sasha, our old guitar player, and like, hey, it's Sasha, it's Fat Mike, and he thought it was me fucking with him. He's like, yeah, whatever, Chuck, nice. And he's like, no, it's Fat Mike, calling from San Francisco, Fat Records. You know, he's like, holy shit, you know. So we got signed, and the rest was history, and that started the first journey of them buying us a used van and a trailer, and getting some amplifiers and new equipment, and putting us on tour with Mustard Plug and the Warped Tour, and opening for NoFX, and that's where the journey started. Yeah.
The hell of a 3 turning points right there. You got a Trojan box set, pretty girls, and a call from Fat Mike. You know?
Yeah.
that can be interpreted multiple different ways.
For sure.
But I think call from Fat Mike, not everyone gets it.
Yeah.
And not all the girls. Great. And talking about Fat Mike and Fat Records, so this was probably important to be on such a renowned label, getting pushed like this.
Oh,
Does this really help?
It was huge. I mean, Fat Mike's exactly 10 years older than me. I'm 48. He's 58. We're born a couple days apart in January, and me at 17, and then him already being like a millionaire, famous, successful punk rock guy at 27 years old. But to me, like, he's like my idol, you know. And then became a personal friend, and still is a dear personal friend of mine, and the bands and of the MAD CADDIES. And you know, he always tells people the MAD CADDIES were his baby band. because he helped produce a lot of our music and just was very passionate about us trying to succeed because he loved us, because we're different. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a special story for sure.
Sure.
And a smart businessman, keeping his, thinking outside the box and
Yeah, he
just
is a
full
smart
throttle,
businessman.
like every rock band or whatever. He saw something different in the boys out the gates, which is really special.
And I don't want to talk too much about Fat Mike and NoFX, but how did you get the news that they split? Was it like?
Yeah, I knew
Have
it
you
was
been
coming
sent
for
some?
years. Yeah, I actually went with my girlfriend in Vancouver and saw the 40 Years of Fucking Up movie. It was really good. It's like you laugh, you cry, you're horrified because he pulls some punches at the end, and you're like, whoa. But it's a great representation of 40 years of the band. It's really cool to see. Yeah.
And coming back to the MAD CADDIES, you came in 20 years ago now. So what did you do before, and how did you come into the band?
I was in
this?
a suit and tie, knocking door to door marketing after college, and my dear friends from
He got a degree in business.
and my in Puerto Rico, and I was with near my family in Florida, and my dear friends, the supervillains from Florida, they said, hey, we see what you're doing with marketing, and we'd love to have you on the road with us. But I'm like, I'm 6 days a week, business guys, 14 hours a day. They go, but we're going on tour with the MAD CADDIES. And I walked in the next morning and quit. And I potentially could have franchised that marketing firm in Puerto Rico a month later. But I hadn't been anywhere. And within a year, I'd been to something over 20 countries with the Caddies. I had been to like the Caribbean originally, and Florida and New Jersey where I was born, and that was it. And then within a year, we ended up going to Russia and all over
Norway
the world.
and Portugal. We took like 20 flights in 10 days or something.
Yeah.
Lost the guitars 3 times. It was a wild one. Yeah, that was a good tour.
It was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
And like his nickname from the beginning was YB, which is Young Buck. Like young Hirsch, and now he's 40 years old and has 2 kids.
And I still calls me Young Buck.
And I still call him Young Buck.
But
it's pretty funny.
I did merch first, and then around 15 years of stage managing and some Latin percussion.
And doing percussion, yeah. And then when Graham retired, our bass player, John stepped in, 5 years ago, yeah. But he's been on the road with us for almost 20 years, yeah.
So you are totally part of the family, but...
Yes. 5 years on bass.
Really on stage, it's 5 years now.
Well, no, he was on stage playing percussion for years.
Okay.
Yeah, percussion.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah, and he also used to open the shows with his solo project, Jon Gazi, and he has a one-man band where he does the looping pedals and plays guitar, and it's pretty cool. Jon Gazi, check it out.
Hey.
And I have to ask, because you're here now on tour in Europe with the Happys. Nice guys, I had to talk to them before.
Lovely fellas.
Did they make you happy on this tour so far?
Yes, and that's why they are here. Because, it's a very difficult position for the band our size, with the budget being so tight, playing venues, small to medium to some large, The tour's been successful, but it's really hard to find a support band that we can afford to pay enough money that's going to bring people. And so, because it just doesn't work out. They want too much and we don't have enough. Or you pay someone a little bit, but then you're like, eh. And so I found it's way cooler to bring a band you already know and love and give them the opportunity, because they're going to do a good show, even if no one's heard of them and they didn't sell one ticket, but they're giving the fans that already came to see us a nice vibe of a California night. So, and they're just like our little brothers. We discovered them like 12 years ago, and the bass player, Brett, recorded my second Chuck Robertson and Friends solo album, and they're just, it's nice, having young guys around, because every day they're just like, morning, how's it going, guys? Woo! And they're just so happy to be in their little van cruising. They've never been to Europe, so.
Yeah,
it's like taking your kids to Disneyland for the first time, and you get to, live vicariously, or taking them to the beach for the first time.
With much better catering than Disney.
Yeah, way better catering.
But they told me they are really happy to be here in Europe, and it's a really big adventure for them. So
Yeah, and it's so fun to watch, and it brings this energy, where sometimes, this is my 27th year touring in Europe, and sometimes, you can get a little jaded and be like, ugh, but like seeing the joy in their experience on this tour makes me happy.
It kind of takes you back to like what
It takes us back.
remembering
It
the
makes
feeling
you
of the
feel
first time,
when you're like
first coming
21 again, coming over here and being like, oh. I mean, when I started coming over here, dude, the EU wasn't here. You had to get new money in every country. It sucked.
I know what you mean, yeah.
No cell phones. You know, I'm calling my mom and my girlfriend on
And the borders.
on the calling card and all the borders, and it was like. And you go to the east, and it's like, ooh, watch out for the cops. And I was like, oh man, you had to hide your weed so good, like put it under the toilet, you know, and stuff.
It's like when someone comes to visit you in your hometown, and it like reminds you why you love to live there.
That's a good one.
You get to play tour guide.
Yeah.
And you know, you're showing them around and you're seeing their first reactions, and it inspires you and reminds you why you love this place so much, you know. So
Yeah.
it's been great having the Happies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for sure you have told them a lot, they could learn a lot from you, but did you also learn something from them, touring with them? Something where you say, okay, we could copy this or at least do it like their way?
No. Hard no. Well, I mean, I guess esoterically you could say I'm trying to be more happy. Yeah, so I am learning to try to be a little more joyful on tour because, like, we're nice guys and we always try to have fun. But, you know, it's been 3 weeks on the road, and, you know, today, me and my trumpet player, what did we do? We slept all day because we're tired and we're old, man. And I want to have a good show.
They went to the World War II museum.
Yeah, they went to the
top of
museum,
the tower. They went to the river. They went to the
everywhere.
stores.
And what were Chuck and Jason doing? Sleeping on the tour bus, like, please, I just need more rest so I can have a nice night.
But this probably is something really about age. Somehow.
Yes, this is
Something
age.
like that,
Yeah. These guys are like 28 to 35, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But again, inspiring. You know,
It is
you can
inspiring,
never
yeah.
frown on the energy of the man
youth.
about town.
The ute.
And the youthful energy.
And the good thing is, this is a special show because it's a 2-day show. You sold out this day, so this additional show yesterday came up, and
Right.
so you really had this time to relax and have some
Yeah.
cool time. But did you visit Düsseldorf before, for example, and have some sightseeing in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I know we've played here. It's really weird. I was actually talking about it. Like, we've played every town in Germany, even like villages of like 30,000. But I think we've only played Dusseldorf a couple times, and on some like festivals or bigger shows. And like, I don't remember. The club that the bus is parked at is awesome. Also, it's like a 700 or 800 seat, and then it has a 200. What's that place called? I don't know.
It looked really familiar. I know that.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever played there. Like, yeah, it's weird. But yeah. Because normally you're in Cologne or Aachen or, yeah. But we're happy to do 2 shows at a small place. It's a lot of fun. And then you can just chill out. Yeah.
And this is really a legendary place. So
Yeah, exactly.
you probably know about it,
Yeah,
about
the history,
80s history. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, the Totenhausen, and yes.
Yeah, totally. Maybe
This club in
See,
particular.
I know
Yeah.
my German rock history. Die Totenhausen started out here, dude. Yeah, that's like the Foo Fighters of fucking Germany, man.
Dead
It means the
Pants.
dead pants. Yeah. See, we
Dead
know.
Pants,
Yeah, we know.
And they're quitting now.
Are they?
They're doing their last tour. Last album is coming out, I think, this Friday, and last tour is then 2 years or something.
Well, some old like drunk bum the other day we're eating, this old German like rock and roll bum guy. He comes up and blah 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 in German, but then he's like, "No, I can't come to the show because I have to go watch the Die Totenhausen documentary at home. And Sunday night it's a big deal." We're like, "That's cool."
Yeah, I watch it as well. But you have this MediaTek stuff. You can watch it whenever you want.
Oh, it's streaming now.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
So that was just that was an excuse.
Yeah.
Well, no,
you
I think
just-
it was the premiere on Sunday. when
Oh,
it
okay.
Yeah,
premiered.
maybe like
It was the
this,
premiere, yeah.
Got it.
But I had to watch it, but not when it premiered. So
I remember we doing a couple festivals with Die Totenhausen on the same stage and the same festivals and seeing the people screaming for them. So yeah, it's cool to come through the hometown.
Yeah, one of the guys, it's either from Die Totenhausen or it's Die Arze, but one of them is a MAD CADDIES fan and would come in to watch our shows in Cologne. I can't remember if it was Die Totenhausen or Die
you
Arze.
know the name, maybe?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it was a long time ago. So
Okay.
10 years
Because
ago, yeah.
When you say the name, I can say which band.
Yeah,
know them
yeah.
for some.
I don't remember his name. He just was a nice guy. And I was like, oh, that's the dude from that really famous German rock band. Yeah.
But do you have some legendary place like this in California? Because I know in New York it's CBGBs and stuff. But do you have something like this somewhere in California where all
Oh yeah,
this?
there's tons of legendary clubs that are like the Troubadour in Los Angeles.
Okay.
It's in West LA, like in the gay town, and they're still going. And it's still one of the best rock venues. And it's like a small club, but it can hold 500. They have a little balcony, but it feels like a 300, but they can put 500 in. And that place is awesome. The ones on the Sunset Strip are a joke, like Whiskey and the Roxy, because they charge the fans like $16 for beers, and it's $25 to park, and it's like, fuck you, Hollywood. So that's why Troubadour is cool, because there's free parking and beers are still like $7. So like people like to go there. That's for LA, and like for San Francisco, I don't know. We're playing Bottom of the Hill, their last show, and they're closing. That's one of the coolest punk venues in San Francisco, and it's like this 300, 350, and they're closing for good at the end of the year, so we get to play one of the last shows.
We used to love Slim's in San Francisco.
Yeah, our favorite venue was Slim's, and it started as like a jazz and blues club, but it was like nice 650 hall with like a restaurant too. Mm-hmm. We played there like
of COVID.
Yeah, 15 times, and then COVID hit and they closed, and they turned it into condos. It sucks, yeah. So many venues just get turned into condos in the cities because the real estate's so valuable for.
You got the Fillmore and some of these.
A lot of the big ones are
country.
still there, but the small ones, yeah, there's not. They're still around.
Yeah. So I think like in Germany, some of the small clubs really have survived because they are small and they didn't have too much to pay.
Yeah, and they have community support too.
Community support,
they get a
yeah.
little funding sometimes. If it's a community building, it's a good thing. It's like.
I think some people even come here just because of the venue, not because
Sure.
of the bands.
Sure. Like
Looking which band is playing, but this is really
like it.
important to have some
Sure.
people coming, band playing. Oh, I discovered a new band, even if it's long around.
Yeah.
I was saying this about that place, the silo. Remember the old aluminum silo we played, the big old tower?
Oh, the silo.
Other day? I was like,
yeah, in like Tonig.
yes,
Tonig.
yeah.
It was in
And
Bavaria. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it was-
old
it was like,
silo. It was really
How
cool.
did they keep this place? This would be so impossible because you don't see it in the States really. Like, how do you maintain this for so many years? As far as you go, every level up was another rehearsal space. And it was all about the arts and the music, and it's like, classic venue for the town.
Good community space. Yeah.
It's because they get some support from the town. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's like that. But it's really difficult because now the AFD is growing up, and I've seen today some report about they want to close down everything cultural that's not supporting German
This is stupid.
style, being like German and stuff. So it's some of these venues even will maybe have to fight in the future.
Yeah, that's just
Not
stupid.
right-wing stars. Yeah. But this is politics. You don't do politics at
Mad Caddies don't do politics. Yeah, we don't do it.
no political band.
I've been accused of being like a Trump fan or something, and like I don't even know where this comes from because I've never do political posts ever. And the last time I voted was for Obama, like fucking a million years ago. I don't do it. So just remember, Chuck doesn't do politics. Mad Caddies were about peace, love, and respect. That's it.
That's most important.
Yeah.
For sure. Great. And we have to talk a little bit about releases. This is what music is all
Sure,
about.
sure.
The current album is, this is where my paper is for, Arrow's Room 117. Mm-hmm. Great. I can read.
Yes.
Still
so
got
it's I think 2024 it came out, so maybe just a summary, what has inspired you back then doing this?
No, you're good, Jason.
Come out.
Jason, you're good.
That's okay. So,
Oh, sorry.
what has inspired you on this album maybe is a summary.
It's pretty easy. My son Charlie, he's 11 years old, and my ex-wife left the family when he was 2, and after 1 year she moved 8 hours north up to Lake Tahoe, and I also have family there, and I'm living up there now. But for many years I've been making this journey, like this 8-hour drive from Santa Barbara, and so like the place I would stay the night before I would go see my son is this cool old school motel called the Foothills Motel, and I would always ask for room 117 because it had a nice patio that I could smoke and look at this beautiful tree, and just felt safe and nice. And I just kept, and then I wrote the song Arrows in that hotel room, and that the album cover just kind of represents all of California. Like we give respect to some Indian tribes and like just the different things like.
The surf.
The
and
surf.
boats.
My dad's old boat that he made. That's how my family started. My dad was a commercial diver. He dove for abalone and sea urchin, and that was his boat that you can see off the water. And it's very personal, and it just shows my little trek that I go up to my son, where you see him skiing on the mountains. So yeah, it was the most personal record I've ever done with the Mad Caddies. Yeah, it was very, very personal. I got it all out.
So all the topics are somehow personal, some stories about your life?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a pretty personal record, for sure. Yeah. Love and loss and, hope despair, all the emotions. You know.
So I have to ask, because you have one song, Darkness. What is this all about?
It was about a girl, a really nice woman that we grew up together, and we dated for a couple of years after my divorce, and then she broke my heart, and yeah. But she got me a lot of good songs, so thanks, Cassie.
So you still are doing something out of these past days and getting some cool ideas out of that?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with being in a really good space in your life and being really happy is like it's kind of hard to write good music because it's like it seems cheesy. I find it's much easier for me to write out of when I'm feeling down, you know, and it brings the music out, you know. And if sure, of course, there's love songs too when you're happy, but yeah, I don't know. That's just me personally. It's easier to write from pain. Yeah.
Totally understand. I have a connection to the Gothic scene, maybe one can see.
There you go.
So it's all about darkness. So what does darkness to you both mean? The word darkness.
Go ahead, John.
Whew. That's a. I mean, we've all felt it. No way. No waves.
No waves for him, surfer boy.
No cool buzz. No tasty waves. No. We've all been there, you know, and you know, I wish I never was, you know, but you know, it finds us all, right? But
you can't get away.
It's gonna get you one way or the other, but you know, there's always two roads, and there's a low road and there's a high road. So I mean, to me, darkness is like the way out of the darkness. Apart from the good times where we're having our shows every night, and this 9:15 is when we've been taking stage every night, right? But you know, the dark times to me is like, how do you navigate out of the dark times? And it's a high road or it's a low road, and you know, it's not always easy to take the high road. So our heart is with the ones who are having trouble finding the high road, you know.
Yeah.
I've somehow, you know, been able to find the high road. You know, I lost my mother and my best friend in the same year.
Yeah.
And then again, just, you know, 2 years ago, lost my other best friend, you know, senseless murder in the middle of the daytime. Gunshot on the tourist boardwalk, you know, and it's over a chain, you know. So it's like, yeah, what is, you know, darkness to me is trying to get back into the sunshine. So,
yeah.
And it's not easy, but you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, that it's attainable, and we always have you know, people that are there for you and want to see you like rise from the darkness, you know, back to the sunshine.
Yeah, I agree. And the only thing I would add is, yeah, just it's exactly what he said. It's just me saying it differently, but without the darkness, there's no light. So how can you enjoy the happy times without the dark times that make you appreciate the happy times? And a lot of times, for me, in the dark times, I've realized who my true friends are, you know, that lift you out back to the sunshine.
Sure.
Yeah.
And probably it's still music that also helps you get out of dark moments.
Music is so healing. Yeah, when you're down, you just go to your favorite band, go to your favorite artist, listen to those songs, and they bring you out. Yeah.
Watch the Happys on stage.
Yeah.
When they're going on stage soon.
Yeah.
I think it's not that far anymore, so we'll come to an end slowly. But for sure, I have to ask, the album is out for 2 years now. Are you already working on new material? Is something coming soon?
Oh, yeah. I'm always doing songs, and our new guitar player, Ian, he's from a band called Larry and His Flask. Check out Larry and His Flask. They just did a reunion from Bend, Oregon. They're amazing. They're kind of like MAD CADDIES, but a little bit more kind of like folk, kind of gypsy folk rock, but the same energy as the MAD CADDIES. And he's been sending demos and contributing songs, and so it's cool to have another style coming in on the new record. I love like 3 of his songs already. I'm like, oh yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. There you go. But yeah, I'm writing all the time, and the hardest part for me is sifting through the music, because I'll write 2 or 3 songs a week and then like forget about them, and then but I record them all, and then I go back and listen, and I go, oh, that one sucks, that one's okay, ooh, that one's good. So it's kind of about 1 out of every 4 or 5 I like, and so just always throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks, you know. Like,
See. So something is coming.
Yeah.
Something very exciting.
It's coming. It's gonna be good. It's gonna raise us out of the darkness. We're going back to the bow, 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 bow. So, yeah.
So circle closes.
Yeah,
I told-
coming back to original sound on the next record. For
I
sure.
told Todd, the original drummer of the Caddies, when we saw him a few weeks ago, I told him it's party time again. We just had this conversation. Like, it's the new music is really
uplifting
and
fun. It's
fun.
the more of like the Road Rash, Leaving, this kind of style, the jazz and the punk and the fast ska. And yeah, of course we'll have a couple fun slow love songs for the girls, you know. But yeah, got to.
Good mixture for sure.
Yeah, got to have a couple ballads, you know. Always.
Yeah, sure. So I think tonight we'll do some party together. No?
Yeah.
So
round two.
Yeah.
How do you prepare now? Do you something special, like a ritual or something like this? What?
I was having a beer on a boat and rushed over here to come see you. Maybe we go back to the boat.
Well, my rule, what time is it? It's 6:45, so doors at 7, the Happys at 8. My rule is I get to have one cocktail when the Happys go on at 8 o'clock, so I still have an hour.
So this is your ritual to have some cocktail with them?
Yeah,
somehow.
I have one drink before the show, and then I have 2 on stage, and then it's back to light beer. But I don't drink coffee. I don't do hard drugs, so I need a little something. So a nice vodka tonic, a little sugar, a little vodka, and gets me dancing. Yeah.
So we can do some drink together and then
Yeah.
have some party together.
Yeah, we just hang around, have a couple beers, and then we all say, let's go, give them a good time, man. Yeah.
So before we quit, do we have some message, some greetings to the people outside?
Dankeschön, Düsseldorf.
Yeah,
And to
Dankeschön,
you.
Düsseldorf. OT. Oh, yeah, man.
Danke an
This is
euch.
the man right here, man.
Danke an euch.
Yes.
Was a great talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, people.
The message from Mad Caddies for the last 15 years is just peace, love, respect.
Nothing more to add.
That's more.
Great guys. Bye bye.
Bye. Tschüss. Tschüss.